Welcome, pilots! This video is part of my guide detailing every high-security combat site. While I normally fly an Ishkar, for Sansha's nation sites I've instead chosen to fly another assault frigate called the Jaguar. This ship is reasonably well suited for this site, and its escalation, slave-breeding plants. Combat signatures appear in your probe scanner window, and you must scan them down with probes before you can warp to them. Some combat signatures do not have a DED difficulty rating, and instead have a chance of escalating to a short story-based expedition. The Sansha Lookout is a combat signature found in all systems with a security status of 0.8 and lower throughout the eastern regions of Amarr space. This includes Domain, Tash-Murkon, Devoid, and Derelik. This site has a decent potential for either a faction spawn or an escalation, either of which may lead to high-value loot drops. I was quite surprised to discover that the Sansha Lookout does not seem to have gate restrictions, as it apparently allows even battleships to enter. You will land directly on an acceleration gate, which you must activate to enter the first room of the site. In the first room, you'll land in front of several rocks and structures guarded by 3 groups of Sansha NPCs. The first group is a little below near a hollow asteroid surrounded by radio telescopes, consisting of 4 frigates. The second group guard a bunker ahead near the acceleration gate, consisting of another 4 frigates. The third group is a ways ahead near a light missile battery, consisting of 5 frigates and a single destroyer. The acceleration gate to the next room is locked, requiring that all NPCs in the area be destroyed. In the second room, you'll pass by several sets of structures near a large elemental base. I've split the Sansha NPCs guarding the area into 4 separate groups. The first group greets you on the landing beacon, consisting of 2 frigates. The second group is near an asteroid colony, consisting of another 3 frigates. The third group guards 3 separate bunkers near a collection of solar harvesters. Each bunker is guarded by 3 frigates for a total of 9 Sansha NPCs. The fourth group is a ways above the elemental base, guarding a Sansha control center, consisting of a single cruiser. You can actually ignore the majority of the NPCs, and instead make a beeline for the cruiser guarding the control center. Destroying the cruiser spawns the commander wave, consisting of 3 destroyers. If you're lucky, a True Sansha frigate will spawn with them. The True Sansha NPC will always drop a True Sansha copper tag, and a single Sansha small frequency crystal. If you're even more lucky, it may also drop a True Sansha module, or a mid-grade Rapture or Nirvana implant. Destroying the True Sansha NPC, or in its absence the control center, has a chance of triggering an escalation to the slave-breeding plant's expedition. Among the intelligence you get from the ruins of this outpost is a schedule for slave transports, listing several times and locations where they are supposed to be. Most of the information is outdated, but your instruments run through the list and find a reachable location. As with all unrated expeditions, slave-breeding plants will have you travel through up to 4 encounters. Each encounter may either continue to escalate or come to an end. Escalations will appear on the Exploration tab of the Agency window. For the first encounter of the slave-breeding plants expedition, you'll land directly in a newly constructed acceleration gate guarded by a group of up to 8 Sansha NPCs flying frigates and destroyers. If you're lucky, one of them will be a True Sansha frigate. The True Sansha NPC will always drop a Sansha small frequency crystal and a True Sansha copper tag. If you're even more lucky, this and any future True Sansha NPC in the expedition may also drop a True Sansha module, or a mid-grade Rapture or Nirvana implant. Destroying the True Sansha NPC also has a chance of escalating to the second encounter of the slave-breeding plant's expedition. In the case there is no faction frigate on the initial warp-in, you can ignore the NPCs and simply activate the gate. A few moments after landing, you have a chance of being awarded the escalation. Nothing but an old deserted bunker, owned by the True Power and probably used as a slave holding place. After a short search, you find a short list of coordinates leading to similar facilities nearby. In the room behind the acceleration gate, you'll land next to a bunker. The area is otherwise empty. In the second encounter of the expedition, you'll again land directly on a newly constructed acceleration gate guarded by a group of up to 8 Sansha NPCs flying frigates and destroyers. If you're lucky, one of them will be a true Sansha frigate. In the room behind the acceleration gate, you'll land on top of a snake-shaped asteroid near a large military station ruins. The area is guarded by up to 4 Sansha NPCs flying frigates. Destroying the true Sansha NPC, or in its absence, the group in the room behind the gate, has a chance of escalating to the third encounter of the slave-breeding plants expedition. Again, a true power slavehold, and this time it was inhabited. You have a second look at the list of locations you found and pick out the nearest one. In the third encounter of the expedition, you'll once again land directly on a newly constructed acceleration gate guarded by a group of up to 11 Sansha NPCs flying destroyers and advanced frigates. If you're lucky, one of them will be a true Sansha frigate. In the room behind the acceleration gate, you'll land next to a large rock formation. A ways ahead, a defunct stargate near another large rock formation is guarded by a group of up to 6 Sansha NPCs flying frigates and cruisers. Destroying the true Sansha NPC, or in its absence, the group in the room behind the gate, has a chance of escalating to the fourth and final encounter, the slave-breeding plants expedition. Again, the slavehold run by the Sansha True Power Corporation, much like the last one and now nothing but a smoldering ruin. On the navigation panel, you punch in all of the remaining locations from the list you found, and a new flight plan pops up. In the final encounter, you will land directly on an acceleration gate, which you must activate to enter the first room of the site. In the first room, you'll land on top of a monument, with an acceleration gate to the second room ways ahead. The monument is guarded by a group of up to 8 Sansha NPCs flying frigates and cruisers. In the second room, you'll land on top of a snake-shaped asteroid. The area is guarded by 2 separate groups of Sansha NPCs. The first group is further out near a cloven red asteroid, consisting of 3 frigates. The second group is near another cloven red asteroid in an abandoned drill, consisting of 4 destroyers and 3 cruisers. A true Sansha NPC flying a frigate will be among them. Destroying the true Sansha NPC will prompt the closing message of the expedition. Not only have you destroyed a slave-breeding facility, but according to some of the freed slaves, this was a place where the Sansha experimented with all sorts of drugs and boosters. You wonder if you will one day be remembered by the descendants of the slaves you freed as a hero, or if you should just go to the nearest trade hub and sell them. The true Sansha NPC may drop one or more Centii A-Type deadspace modules, or a blueprint copy for a succubus. You'll have to decide for yourself whether it's worth risking travel through low-security space to run the final encounter. Other players will have to use combat probes to find you, and you'll be behind an acceleration gate once you're in the site. This should give you plenty of warning in the case that someone is hunting you. A ship like the Jaguar, fit with light missiles, will run the Sansha Lookout site in about 5 minutes. For younger Amarr pilots, the Courser, fit with beam lasers, will do reasonably well. Because the entrance gate has no restrictions, ships ranging from tactical destroyers to pirate faction cruisers or heavy assault cruisers can all run this site efficiently. I would actually consider assault frigates like the Jaguar to be highly suitable for this site, and for the slave-breeding plants expedition alike. While recording the footage for this video series, I kept track of the statistics for 15 Sansha Lookout sites. Over this period, 4 of these spawned a true Sansha pirate, and 6 escalated to the slave-breeding plants expedition. Only one of the faction spawns dropped something beyond the faction ammo and tag. In my case, this was a blueprint copy for a mid-grade Nirvana Alpha implant. The slave-breeding plants expedition can escalate up to 4 times, and each encounter has a chance of spawning a true Sansha frigate. Through my 6 escalations, I had a total of 12 encounters. 11 of these had a faction spawn, 4 of which dropped something beyond the faction ammo and tag. The most interesting drop was a blueprint copy for a succubus. 2 of the escalations went through to the final encounter, but only one of these dropped a deadspace module. In my case, it was a Centii A-Type small remote armor repairer. In high-security Eastern Amarr space, you can also probe down other unrated sites like the Sansha Hideout, Watch, or Vigil. Note that the Western Amarr regions have similar combat sites featuring Blood Raider NPCs. Other NPC pirates include Rogue Drones, the Serpentis, Guristas, and Angel Cartel. My journey to host a complete set of combat site video guides began in 2020 with a similar 13-part series for Serpentis combat sites. I followed this up with similar series for Guristas, Angel Cartel, and Blood Raiders. If you find yourself outside of Eastern Amarr space, you can check out those videos right now. If you're curious about fitting assault frigates for combat site exploration, you can check out the gaming section of my website over at RileyEntertainment.com. Thanks for making it to the very end, and smash that like button if you enjoy my content.